This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so this is our fourth session covering the homework from chapter 7. So we're going to go over the genitive and dative homework. All right, we're going to start here in the basement. Sammy is going to parse this for us. First, start off with what the word is.
Lord?
Well, I meant, how do you pronounce it?
Kurios? No, Kuriois?
Kuriois, okay. Case.
Case? Dative?
All right, this is dative. Number.
Plural?
Gender.
Masculine?
All right, what's the lexical form for this one?
Kurios?
Kurios. And what is the inflected meaning?
I don't remember, but is it Lord?
So, because it's the dative, what are our helping words for the dative? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. So for the dative, our helping words are to, in, or with. Okay. So we pick one of these. I usually use to because it's sort of the most commonly used one. So it's to, and then what did you say it meant?
Lord? Oh, plural? Lord?
Lords. Okay. Anyone have any questions on that one? Okay. Ralph Henry? What is this one? Oops, sorry. There we go.
Isn't something go oi?
It goes ooh, like
How-
soup. Toos.
Tooth.
Toos. All right.
And-
Case number, gender,
Case.
lex.
Is it accusative?
Okay. Accusative,
Plural.
plural,
Gender. Masculine.
masculine. Lexical form,
To, and how.
so you kind of have to know what this is. Do you know what this is? What this word means?
Not right now. No.
Okay, so this in our little, it's hey, ta,
Oh, it's
to, taste, to, toe, So, so you get all the way down, and tus is down here. So what does that mean the lexical form is?
Is it ha?
Yep.
Ha, and then that's the.
Yep, so the inflected is the. Anyone have any questions on that one?
How did the tau get in front of the omicron?
So this one is more related to the actual just knowing what the words are than following the pattern. You can still parse it. See here, you can still parse it because you know the endings of it. But the simplest thing is use isn't a word. You don't know that yet, but it's just not a word. So because it's not a word, that kind of clues you in that tus comes from this paradigm. You can kind of see a relationship with this and this. There is some thought that at one point the tau was on the lexical form, but it dropped out later. Anyway, it's more just knowing what the paradigm for the article is. All right, let's go to Woodbury. Whoever wants to start us out.
Lagoon.
Lucky.
I'll do it.
Go for it.
It's genitive, singular, masculine, lexical is logu, logo, and then it's of word.
So the lexical would still be logos.
Yeah, okay, because it's
Right, the root,
singular, even though it's singular.
yeah, the stem would be laga or however you put that. But the lexical form is still whatever the nominative singular is.
Okay, okay.
Lexical is always nominative singular form. Yeah, that's why the other one was the O or the F for two.
All right.
Lexical always.
Somebody else in Woodbury.
One would be the genitive, singular, feminine.
Okay, go ahead and pronounce it first. Let's do that first.
Basileia.
Basileus.
Basileus, okay.
Case number, gender. So you got the first one was what now?
The genitive, singular, feminine.
Okay. And the rest of this is going to be this. Well, the middle part will be the same. So what's the second one?
It will be the accusative, plural, feminine.
Okay. The lexical form for both of these is
Kingdom. Basileus.
Basileia. All right, and the inflected for the top one would be
Of kingdom.
Of kingdom.
yeah. The bottom one would be
Kingdoms.
kingdoms.
Yes.
If you wanted to add the, no one's going to fault you for that, because of kingdom doesn't make good sense in English. So,
I have to admit, the tutors here in Woodbury helped me though. I can't take all the credit.
I see. All right. Let's go to Gregory and Ezekiel. Either one of you can answer this.
I guess I'll do this one.
All right.
It is dative.
Go pronounce them first. It's
Agape.
mostly just to get people used to saying them. Go ahead.
Okay, agape,
Okay.
dative, singular, feminine, from agape, and meaning like to love. What do you say? Or with love or in love?
Yeah, it's going to be, context is going to kind of dictate it. Most of the time, I'll tell you that in love is going to be the most common way it's translated because it's usually being used almost like an adverb in certain cases. How is it being done in love? Build one another up in love, things like that. A lot of times, though, they will add the N to make that more clear. So it's N plus dative. Okay. Victoria, why don't you take this one?
Apen autois ha Jesus.
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to put it in order or just translate it as it's?
So you, in every single instance, whenever we translate, it should be in a sentence that makes sense in English. The people who took the quiz tonight saw what I said. It needs to be as literal as possible, but as fluid or as dynamic as necessary to make sense in English. So this particular sentence starts with what word?
Jesus.
Well, I mean, in Greek.
He, she, it said.
Yeah, so you can't really start a sentence with said in English because you don't have any way to know who's doing the saying or anything like that. So we're going to, like you just did, we're going to bring the nominative to the front. All right, so how did you translate it?
Jesus said to them.
Yeah. All right. Can you parse autois for me?
Dative plural masculine from autos, meaning he, she, it.
Yep. And Jesus?
Nominative singular masculine from Jesus, meaning Jesus.
All right. One other thing, this doesn't come up a lot, but what about if this was autais?
It would mean a group of women.
So how would you change it then?
Jesus said to the women.
That's probably the best way. Although technically it could be any feminine thing. So I guess you could say Jesus said to those female things if you wanted to get really, really literal. But yeah, generally if you have something that is obviously feminine, so when you see autois, that means it's either an all-male group or a mixed group. But if you see autais, it means it is an all-female group. And sometimes it helps the reader by by putting that into your translation that, hey, these are specifically him talking to women, which I believe there is at least one instance in Mark where that actually does come up. All right. Back here. Sammy, take it away. You try reading it first? You don't have to. I could read this one for you. It's a little hard.
Okay.
All right, so it's Angekin. Remember our gamma nasal because we got a gamma gamma. Angekin gar he basilea ton orenon. All right. So we'll take this piece by piece since you guys weren't here especially. Do you know what gar means? Four. I will tell you gar virtually always comes to the front. Okay? The front.
Oh, right.
So it's going to end up over here.
That's what I was
All right?
The kingdom?
Okay.
I don't know what the two last words are.
Ton ore non. Anybody want to help him out? You
Is
know?
the last one heavens?
Yes. I don't know if you heard Ralph Henry. That's the heavens. So what is the case of that, Sammy?
case. Which
Ton ore non.
genitive?
Genitive. So what is our helping word for genitive?
I feel like I should know this, but I don't remember it.
Of.
That's how it is.
Okay. So a basilea ton ore non. The kingdom. Yeah. Usually heaven, if it's plural, is always made into the singular in English translations. I'm not sure why. It just is. And then we just bring down our definition from our verb.
As from here.
All right. Any questions on that one?
I have a question.
Sure.
Is Basileia the subject of the sentence?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yep. You can see the hey makes it nominative. And that means it is more than likely going to be our subject. We've not really gotten to a whole lot of predicate nominatives yet. All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if you want us to translate as literally as possible, would you want us to put heaven in the plural on that one?
No.
Okay.
The convention is stuck since the 1600s. This is one I don't think we're going to be changing anytime soon. Kind of like my bone to pick with always translating Christos as Christ instead of Messiah. I guess if we had a really, really strong campaign, we could make people change their minds, but I don't think that's going to happen during my lifetime. All right. Ralph Henry, you ready for this one?
I think so.
You sound really confident back there.
Well, I'm
Well, the first word, I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll work on that. So can you read it? Or do you want me to read it? This one's a little bit harder. Okay. Exousion, eke, ha huios, tu anthropou, aphenai hem artias. All right. So anybody want to help Ralph Henry out with that first word?
This,
Authority or power?
Yeah. This is a very important word in Mark's gospel. So the question is constantly coming up about Jesus's authority. And this is the word for that. If I'm not mistaken, it appears more in Mark's gospel than any other book in the New Testament. So it has to do with the ability to do something by a given right. Okay? And this, I believe, is taken directly from Mark. All right, so exousion is authority. I'm just going to write this up here. We'll come back to it. Eke means he, she, it has.
The next one, ha.
Yep.
And then sun.
Okay. Tu anthropou.
All right. It's person, one of them, like the.
Yes, yes. Person is actually the more correct way to translate this. So
Person is the,
so it's
like, after it's the one that starts with alpha and then mu and e. Like, I skipped that one. But
okay. So ha huios. What is it in this sentence?
The sun.
Yes. What is it doing in this sentence? What case is it?
Oh, the case, okay. Why the pasta omicron sigma?
Right.
So it would be nominative, singular.
Okay. So the nominative is going to be the subject of our sentence. So I'm going to bring it out first. Okay. The sun. Okay. Now, tu anthropou, I will tell you, is modifying huios. So yes, the word means person, but what is the case of this word? Okay, so of
The son of God.
so anthropou can mean, or what's the root, or sorry, the lexical form of anthropou?
Anthropos.
All right, what's anthropos mean?
Person.
Person or
The father. Oh man.
yeah. So anthropos can also mean man.
The son of man.
Okay. So go back up here and get our verb. So he, she, it has. So the Son of Man has.
Authority.
Okay.
To forgive. The last word, sin.
Yes. And let me ask this. Can somebody, this is a little bit harder question, can somebody parse that for me?
Is it which word?
Hamartius.
Last one.
Anyone want to parse Hamartius for me?
Accusative, plural, feminine.
How do we know it's accusative? Because what else could it be? By form.
Genitive singular.
How do we know it's not?
Because it's the direct object of to forgive.
Right. So that's one of the things that I want you guys to see in this. The cases are from what their function is, not the other way around. Okay. So just because something is in a form doesn't mean that it has to be both when actually put into a sentence. So this is, as Victoria said, this is going to be accusative plural feminine because it is acting as the direct object in this sentence. You wouldn't say to forgive of sin. All right. Back to Woodbury.
We get stuck on the pronunciation, but we've got it translated.
Hallelujah.
So this is pronounced like an EI in 8.
So LLA.
LLA.
LLA. LLA.
LLA.
Our choice.
Our choice. So the Logon.
Logon, yeah.
Logon.
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 Yeah, you'd syllable-wise right there.
Okay.
Logon.
Okay.
All right. Translate it for me.
He was speaking the word to them.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this. Do you think you could have translated it with them?
Say that again. Say that again.
Could you have translated that with them?
Instead of to them, with them.
With them. Yeah. He was speaking
Okay.
with them.
So I guess it kind of...
If he was the main speaker, he would be speaking to them, not with them.
Exactly. So you're going to have to determine, and I think it comes up at least once in Mark, where Jesus is talking to the disciples. And it becomes a question of, is this something Jesus was teaching them, or was it something they were discussing? Because it's kind of like they're having this aside, and are they discussing it amongst themselves, or is Jesus having sort of a speech toward them? So anyway, context is going to tell you that, but the big one that always comes up in the church is this is the same way that the Ephesians 5 passage is phrased. It can be either in or with, or usually the two ways. So either in the heart or with the heart. You actually could also translate it to the heart, which is another, has kind of a different sense to it, which I think actually goes better with the context before, but makes for terrible English. Anyway, just something to think about as we're doing these. Because the reason we do this is to improve our exegesis. If we weren't doing this to improve our exegesis, there would be no reason to actually study this. All right. Is Ezekiel there?
I'm here.
All right, you want to do this one?
Yeah, I'll do it.
You want me to read it or you want to try to?
I'll read it.
All right.
Apostole ha huios tu anthropo tuus angelus autu.
Perfect. Now translate it. Start off with the subject.
Subject, would that be huios?
Yep. So what's huios?
Sun.
So I'm going to put the sun just because in this particular sentence it works better. Ha huios. Okay. Tu anthropou is what again?
Tu anthropo.
Yeah. What's the translation for that?
Would it be like of man?
Yep. All right. And looking at the rest of these words, tous angelus is what case?
Accusative.
Okay. And then autu is
Genitive.
okay. And generally the genitive is going to be modifying the closest word. So the accusative and our direct objects generally go at the end of the sentence. So this is probably where our verb goes. So I'm going to put that here. All right. Tous angelus.
You want me to say what it means?
Yeah. Or how would you translate that last part? I guess you kind of have to do it all at once. What is angelus?
Angels.
Angels. And then what is autu?
Be like them.
So that would be autus. Autu would be, well, what's this ending?
Genitive singular masculine.
Okay. So what would be the genitive singular masculine version of autos?
Of him.
Of him, but we usually don't say that in English. What do we say? How do you say of him in one word?
His.
His. The Son of Man will send his angels. And this is a pretty straightforward sentence. So you've got huios, which is nominative singular masculine. You've got tu anthropou, which is genitive singular masculine. You've got tous angelus, which is accusative plural masculine. You have autu, which is nominative, genitive singular masculine. All right. Let's see. Is anybody at Woodbury not done one yet?
No, I think we've all been talking.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to Victoria then. Why don't you do this one?
He agape gar to theou, didaske, tain exousian to kuriou.
Okay. What you got?
I don't have my paper. I'm just looking. I don't think you sent the papers that had the verbs translated on them. For the love of God teaches the kingdom of the Lord. Not the kingdom, the authority of the Lord.
Yeah, that's how I would do it. Or you could do the power of the Lord. That would work too. Exousion can also mean majesty, which might work in this particular sentence. I think the thrust of this particular sentence, though, is the kind of idea of the Lord. So authority probably the best. So let's just go through and parse these. All right. Hey agape.
Nominative, singular, feminine.
All right. Sutheu.
Genitive, singular, masculine.
Tain exousion.
Accusative, singular, feminine.
And then tu curia.
Genitive, singular, masculine.
All right. Anyone have any questions on that one? All right. Gregory, why don't you finish us up?
Okay, I don't know if I can read the first word.
Okay. So the gamma nu ends up sounding like just the nu.
So, no rice. Say it.
Very close. The iota is more like a short I or maybe even an E sound.
So, like, no riso? Or
No,
norise?
yeah.
And then, my screen doesn't have all of it. Is that just noon? Or
Yeah.
is there another word after noon?
No, it's noon, then it wraps.
Okay, so noon, ties, archis, chi, ties, exousiais.
Yes. How do you like that? Tais, archis, chi, tais, exousiais. That's done on purpose, by the way. Doing things that had that sort of cadence that rhymed was a very Greek way of making people remember things. All right. What do you got?
So noon is now,
Okay.
and ties is the, so now the, and isn't archis like beginning or first?
It is, but I don't think that's what it's meaning in this sentence. Does anybody ever have another word for archis in this sentence?
Ruler? Is that the
Yeah.
word?
Yeah. So
now
it's
the ruler.
archis.
So now the ruler and the
Well, it's archis.
archis. So would that be rulers?
Yeah.
So now the rulers and the powers.
That works.
Might
Rulers.
be made known.
Yeah. Rulers and powers, or rulers and authorities, something along those lines. It's two different words that kind of mean the same thing. There was some thought that there was a little bit of a hierarchy for these that would be talked about between like Roman rule versus the governors and those sort of things. But for our purposes, they mean more or less the same. All right. So they both have the same ending. What's the parsing for these?
Dative, plural, feminine.
All right. Any questions on that one? That one does have a little bit of a funny sentence structure, but I will tell you that a lot of times when things are in the passive, you end up with something like this.
I have a question why it's being translated like this.
Well, you could do it the other way. But most of the time, whenever you've got something passive like that, you bring it to the beginning. That's just kind of how we say that in English. I've also seen it now might be made known to the rulers and to the powers. I've seen it that way too.
Well, wouldn't it be that way if it's in the dative? That's
Well,
how I
the
would translate it.
problem is they're passive.
This is how I would translate it, and just tell me if this is wrong. Now, it might be made known to the rulers and to the powers.
Yeah, that would work. Like I said, generally, whenever it's passive, you bring the things that are being talked about at the beginning of the sentence. I'd have to see the context to know what it is. Do you guys know where this is coming from? I just took it from his list of things. Is this the he has been made both Lord and Christ passage?
I think the book is saying Ephesians 3:10. I didn't look it up though. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Ephesians 3:10.
Yeah, if I'm looking at the right thing, I don't know. It's so small, it's hard for me to see it.
The problem is when they truncate some of these. Yeah. So there actually is a nominative in this sentence that's not here. So theos is the subject. So these would become. If you have the whole sentence, it would be the way that she had it. So. Let's see if I can figure this out. So the whole sentence is, And the reason for that is, like I said, there is a nominative in this sentence. It's just not actually in what he gave us to translate. The whole sentence is so that through the church, the manifold wisdom of God might now be made known to the rulers and authorities in the heavenly places. The issue is if you don't have the rest of it, by being a passive, you can kind of assign the dative as the subject, but that's a little bit more complicated than what we need to talk about. There's other examples of that. Whenever a genitive is used with a participle without any nominative in the sentence, it becomes the subject. It's the same idea. But I would go, this is the way it's usually translated if you've got the whole thing. All right. Any other questions about any of these?
Hey, Quentin, we had 2 additional on the page that we printed out for homework. We had 2 additional translated ones that we didn't go over. Do you have any others?
Well, mine must not, my PowerPoint must not have had everything.
Okay.
Let me.
Because you did one that we didn't have on our page.
It's number 4 in the notebook.
What page is it?
Page 16 in the workbook. If you happen to have one available. I can't read it. We should continue, but whatever that word is.
That's not going to work. That didn't help. Nope. Allow everything. Allow. All right, which number is it?
Number 8 and 12.
All right. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
All right. I'll do these. You ready? Or I'll at least read them. Epimenomen te hamartia. What did you guys have?
Well, we should continue to sin. Does that make sense?
Well, I guess it depends on your philosophy. Didn't Luther say, like, sin, how did he phrase that? Sin openly or something like that?
Yeah.
Well, we should continue to sin,
Yeah, we should continue.
So
or with sin, or.
what does that semicolon mean at the end of the sentence?
Well, that's a good question. Continue.
It's not the end of the
Same
sentence.
thing, it's the same thing. Next question. Next question.
So it means it's a question?
So should we,
Yeah.
should we continue to sin?
We
Right.
should continue to sin?
No.
It's Romans 6:1.
That's the question, that is.
Yeah. Should we continue to sin is the question. Yeah, if you don't get that question mark, it's a really questionable sentence, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
Believe me, we really questioned it.
Yes. So, yes, it's a question. Should we continue to sin is the question. All right. Is the last one, is it 13?
We done lost our mind.
Number
Question.
12, I think was the other one that we didn't go over tonight.
Hei agape tu theu eke kuxatai en tais cardiais hemon. Okay. Let me try to zoom out on this a little bit. All right, what did you have for that one?
We put the love of God has been poured in our heart.
Yeah, I would go with that. And can also mean into, which might work better for this particular sentence. But I would say in our hearts, that would work.
Yeah.
All right, what other questions do you guys have from this particular chapter? Anything? Okay, so I want to give you guys just some stuff here, and really the main thing I'm looking for is the case. All right, so I'm going to put up some words that I know you don't know, and I want you to just let me know what the case is. start off with case. Anybody?
You said plural.
All right. Accusative. All right.
Would be accused of also, wouldn't it?
Could be.
Right.
Genitive.
If.
Nominative. Nominative.
That's nominative.
Genitive.
Genitive.
Accusative.
Native.
Native.
Native again. Um,
Sandy Hollingford from Rich Burton, if you make this D.
Don't click on it.
Yeah.
It's a
I
spam
think
thing.
we all
Yeah.
just got that one. All right. Accusative.
Genitive.
Nominative.
Or.
Accusative.
Here's one for you. Someone give me the complete parsing for this one. Except I'll give you the lexical. I mean the inflected whenever you get to it. Anybody want to parse this one?
No idea.
All right. Ralph is giving us nominative, singular. Is it? Anybody want to help him out?
Masculine. Masculine.
It's feminine. So this is the word for road. It is a second declension feminine word. I think there's only about 3 important ones. This is one of them. So this is like at the beginning of Mark, where the voice of one crying in the wilderness, make his hey hadas straight, so make his paths straight. That's what this word is.
And what they're given on 57.
What's that? So it still follows second declension rules. So you treat it just like it follows the same paradigm as the masculine singular. It just happens to be feminine. All right. Any other questions on 1 to 9? I found that I've got a book of nouns here that I was flipping through. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Did not do millstone. Oh, another important word that's in the same category is so it's hey oremas. Oh, sorry. It's a rough breathing. Heremas. And this is the word for desert. And if you transliterate this, you get and I know it's kind of hard to see this just looking at it. This is the word that we get hermit from. Not Hermit the Frog. It's Kermit the Frog. All right. That's just one of, I remember memorizing this word and learning that. I was like, oh yeah, that's neat. I had to memorize all of the Greek words that appeared more than 10 times in my Greek 3 class. That was not all that fun. Anyway, any other questions for tonight?
I got a question.
Sure.
Just about, are we doing a quiz for chapter 6?
We're doing a quiz for chapter 6 tomorrow night.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
We're doing a quiz for chapter 7 next week. After that, we will be doing them every other week.
Okay.
Anybody else?